What's up guys, Mickle here, and in this video, I want to show you something very interesting that I just came across on Twitter. It looks like a former SEC official just commented on why it's taking Judge Torres so long to make her summary judgment ruling. In this video, I want to share with you what he had to say because it's actually pretty shocking and surprisingly bullish news. Towards the end of the video though, I want to talk about why Ripple is no ordinary company. We just got a very interesting development from the XRP conference in Vegas. Now, what I want to show you is that what Ripple is doing is not comparable to any other company of their size. And I want to show you just how critical they are going to be to the future financial system, because right now the #1 cryptocurrency looks like it might be failing. Make sure to stick around to the end of the video to see that. You are not going to want to miss it. Like always, your support means so much to this channel. Make sure you take a second to like this video and subscribe to my channel. It's really going to help me out so much. Also, if you're in a good place to buy some XRP or the Flare token, make sure to check out my favorite exchange Uphold down in the description of this video. With that said though, let's jump right into it, and I hope you guys enjoy the content. So guys, I have some personal stuff going on right now, so hopefully I'll still be able to pump out these videos, but if you see a short break in the near future, just know I will most likely be back. Let's jump into it though, and I want to start off and go over something pretty shocking because Mark is someone who I talk about a lot on this channel. He's a former SEC official who gives his opinion on Twitter. Now make sure if you're going to interact with this guy, you are very respectful. He is super helpful to this community. He is always completely honest. He never does anything in a nefarious manner, and he's always really respectful, so make sure you treat him with the same respect. Now, I want to talk about something pretty interesting here because pretty much whenever I see him making an argument on Twitter, he is almost always backing up the SEC and taking their side, and has stated multiple times that he thinks the SEC should win this case. Now, he does think the SEC made some serious mistakes in this case, but ultimately he always seems to come back to the idea that he thinks the SEC will win. Now, I want to talk about something he actually said today because I actually think it goes against the idea that the SEC is going to get the win they were looking for. So he was actually responding to John Deaton, and he said it is taking an awful long time for a summary judgment opinion if Judge Torres was just going to go with a straight Section 5 analysis. Now, the SEC is the party who wanted the Section 5 analysis. They wanted the judge to simply come out and say, okay, Ripple had an unregistered securities offering of XRP, boom, you get hit with this fine, you can't sell XRP anymore, XRP is a security. Now, if that was the case, what Mark is saying is this ruling should have been pretty quick. It should have been Judge Torres says, hey, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to seal up the bill, hidden in emails, no one can see them. Ripple illegally sold XRP as a security, and XRP is the security. Now, Mark is admitting, someone who always backs the SEC, is admitting right here that based on the amount of time this has taken, that is likely not what's going to happen. So what he ends up inferring, and what John Deaton says to agree with him, is that it is a lot more likely that Judge Torres is going to rule on the status of XRP itself. Now, this is an extremely bullish development because one of the biggest risks we had in this case was Judge Torres not actually ruling on XRP. If Judge Torres didn't rule on XRP, we could end up in a scenario where this entire case goes by and we don't actually get a clear defined status for XRP in the market. Now, that would be the worst case scenario, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. We know that the whole reason Judge Torres let John Deaton into this case was to defend second-hand holders of XRP or people not involved with Ripple who kind of got tied into this case. Now, if Judge Torres wasn't going to make a ruling on the secondary sales, she had no reason to bring these people into the case, but she did. And now Mark is commenting right now saying, hey, if this was just a standard case, it would not be taking this long. So this is a pretty interesting observation. The main reason I'm paying so much attention to it is because Mark is someone who always takes the SEC side. So right here, we actually have one of their biggest supporters coming out and publicly saying, okay, this is looking a little better for Ripple based on the amount of time it's taking than I originally thought. Now, I know no one likes how long this thing has taken, but this is at least a good takeaway from it because if it came out immediately, it likely would have been an easy Section 5 analysis like Mark is saying right here, and it probably wouldn't have been as good for Ripple. So it's pretty interesting that Mark is actually flipping his opinion here, and it really leads us to one of the most bullish scenarios, which is the flip of the switch moment. I made a video about this the other day, but if XRP gets instant clarity in the market from Judge Torres, it is the most regulatory compliant cryptocurrency in the world. That is something that is going to be unmatched by any other project out there, and I'm actually going to show you something at the end of this video that is going to be another bullish event for XRP, because right now one of the biggest cryptocurrencies out there, Bitcoin, is having some completely different troubles, and XRP is going to be the most compliant and the most technological savvy cryptocurrency on the market that actually has big liquidity that institutions can use. But before we get into that, I want to talk about a pretty interesting development at XRP Vegas, and this is something I have seen before, but I wasn't sure if it was a one-off scenario, but this kind of confirms what I was thinking. It looks like Brad Garlinghouse is really carrying a bodyguard around him wherever he goes. Now, the reason why this is so interesting is you don't see other CEOs of companies his size going around with bodyguards. You don't see Charles Hoskinson's or Brian Armstrong walking around with a bodyguard, especially not at an event with Vegas where everyone is your supporter like XRP Vegas. So it's pretty interesting that Brad Garlinghouse is now carrying around a bodyguard. What this tells me is Brad Garlinghouse is becoming a very important person. Now, you don't see a lot of Brad Garlinghouse in the media, and that's because the mainstream media clearly was told to stop covering the Ripple case by whoever told them to do that. The reason why I know that is because in 2008, he was all over the media. Everyone wanted an interview with Brad Garlinghouse, especially this one reporter, Julia Chatterley at CNN. But instantly, as soon as Ripple gets sued by the SEC, suddenly no one will give him an interview. And I have a feeling mainstream media was told, hey, don't cover this topic, and at the end of the day, they will do whatever the regulators tell them because they want to stay out of trouble. So what this tells me is Brad Garlinghouse behind the scenes is slowly becoming very important. And the only reason he's becoming so important is because Ripple is not some normal fintech company. If this was the CEO of some small fintech company like the media wants to make you believe, he would not need these bodyguards. The reason he has these bodyguards are not for people like me and you. They are for people who actually want to go after him, and we're not going to get into speculation on who that might be, but let me tell you, it is not for XRP fanatics like me and you. And I want to show you one other pretty interesting thing that happened, and this is just really hard to comprehend, but it looks like Ripple by the end of this case is going to have spent $200 million in legal fees defending itself against the SEC. Now, not only is this an outrageous number, but it really just shows you how great of a CEO Brad Garlinghouse is. There are so many cryptocurrency companies out there, and Bittrex is one of them. They just went bankrupt, who literally could not pay a fine like this. They would go bankrupt instantaneously. Ripple is a real company. I always say that they are the adults in the room. There are so many CEOs in crypto who are just children. People give Brad Garlinghouse crap because he wears a suit. Meanwhile, he's the one actually running a responsible company. He's the one who has the money to actually fight the SEC and not roll over and settle or go bankrupt. This shows you that what is going on at Ripple right now is top class. They are building this company the right way. They are in a crypto bear market right now. They are hiring. They are paying $200 million to fight the SEC, get clarity for crypto, while the rest of the cryptocurrency industry hides. They go bankrupt whenever something bad happens. They have to fire half their staff. Ripple is a different caliber of company. They are working with the biggest institutions in the world, and the biggest institutions in the world want to meet with a real CEO. They don't want Vitalik Buterin coming in with a unicorn shirt on. They don't want someone like Charles Hoskinson who looks like he's never wear a suit in their life. There's a very specific person they are looking for. Brad Garlinghouse fits that role, and the reason he is in that role is because Ripple is built for bigger things than just retail crypto payments. Ripple is looking to transform the financial system. That is why Brad Garlinghouse is walking around with bodyguards, and that is why Ripple is in the position they are right now. People will keep going on and saying, oh, Brad Garlinghouse is some corporate person, but I am so happy he is the CEO of Ripple. I think he is one of the best CEOs in the world right now. And let me just say one last thing about this XRP Vegas event. Congrats. I really wish I could have gone. Congrats to those who could have made it. Congrats to those who could have met Brad Garlinghouse. But can we just get a round of applause for Brad Garlinghouse going here to meeting some of the XRP fans out there? This is absolutely awesome. And huge shout out to Brad Kimes from Digital Perspectives for putting this on. I was somewhere else during this. I really wish I could have gone, but it looked like a fantastic event. And I want to finish this video off and quickly talk about some pretty big problems going on with Bitcoin right now, because Bitcoin maxis will make it seem like Bitcoin is the perfect cryptocurrency out there, and things like XRP are just way too centralized. Ripple owns way too much. It will never succeed. It's garbage. But what we can see is Bitcoin has some serious technical problems that everyone just ignores. And the biggest thing is Bitcoin simply can't scale. Right now, we just saw a new all-time high for Bitcoin non-confirmed transactions reached at 485,000. We also see that the average cost to send Bitcoin has jumped to $20. If this doesn't tell you Bitcoin is never going to be what the Bitcoin maxis want it to be, I don't know what to tell you. It is literally proof that Bitcoin can't scale and it's not scaling. Now, this doesn't mean Bitcoin's going to die, it's just not going to be used for payments. But if Bitcoin's not going to be used for payments, then the whole Bitcoin maximalist bullish thesis completely falls apart. They say that Bitcoin can do everything any other cryptocurrency can do, but it can't. It can't even scale on something as simple as just payments. We know XRP can do this and so much more, and it actually has similar liquidity than Bitcoin. Now, don't get me wrong, Bitcoin has a lot more right now, but XRP is also being heavily suppressed. I think we all know how quickly XRP can get to Bitcoin's liquidity. So what I'm pointing out here is that a lot of people who have the loudest mouths in crypto, the people who act like they know what's going on, really don't. Bitcoin maxis told us forever that Bitcoin was going to dominate crypto payments. It is failing. No one is going to pay a $20 transaction to send their Bitcoin. We need cryptocurrency solutions like XRP to transform payments in the financial system. I'm not going to get into depth on why XRP is perfect for that. I've done so many videos on it before, but just understand, everyone said it won't be XRP because it will be Bitcoin. Meanwhile, Bitcoin is proving once again it can't do it. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for coming. I hope you enjoyed this update. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe. It really does mean so much. And for now, Mickle out.